Miss Fanny P looking very swell and all of that. Blue, we want to say shout out to everybody that's going to be tapping in on a replay gang. Everybody that's tapping in currently. Shout out to Reverb Nation as well. And wanted to say shout out to the sponsor of this podcast. With the sponsor of this podcast usually targeting moms, I'm going to let my co host give y'all that information.
Shout out to Melly Moon Luxury Diapers for our wigglers, our waddlers, and our luxury toddlers. Go get your Melly Moon diapers for your first time parents and your repeat parents and use the promo code YOLEAKS where you will get 15% off your purchase. And don't forget that special time of the month, ladies. Go get your 10 packs Radiant Pads and use the promo code YORADIANT and you will get 15% off your purchase. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. And once again, shout out to Reverb Nation, the Cloud Watchers, the Replay Gang, and everybody entering the chat. Thank you so much for joining us. And shout out to the man of the hour himself, Mr. TSM Rapper. How you doing, TSM?
You know what? I have no complaints. Today was kind of slow for me, but today was very productive for me. So I got a lot of stuff done today. Got some good numbers back from YouTube, and so pretty much doing good. I woke up on the right side of the bed, and it's still those causes now. So once again, shout out to everybody that's coming through. Bree, Queen, Naya, Prince Daniel, welcome back, bro. Much respect. I seen your comment too. I was like, look it, cause I didn't know who you was at first. I'm like, is this a troll coming through? But yeah, I really appreciate you checking out the videos too, man. Fanny, how your day been? I see you looking very well put together, like you just left a Vixen video set somewhere, girl. What rapper you went and put one in their video? Where you go, girl? You going to rappers' videos behind my
Shit,
back?
work. I was at work all day. I'm tired, but I'm here. I went to work. I went to work today. Hey, bestie, how you doing, boo?
Shout out to my mama Helen too. I had just recently spoke with her. Shout out to her. I'm really loving her videos. I'm gonna show y'all tapping in on her videos, and I see that I was talking to her about I feel like we got before we get into the podcast. I just was telling her like I feel like we got I feel like we more than just YouTubers amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? I feel like what we built was family based, and that goes for a lot of us. And I was telling her though that she is one out of the handful. You know, it's a handful of people that we all can name off back. Just one handful, and just be like, I know I mess with this person, that person, whatever the case may be, and just her reassurance that it's deeper than just YouTube with me and her. This is it's become, you know what I'm saying? It started on YouTube. It's now no longer a social thing. And so just her giving me that quick reminder that I do have some love out there, much respect and appreciation. Fanny, you got anything you want to say or think about before we get straight into the topic? You want to tell us about the job? You don't want to give us no little, how did you, I mean, no? You good? Did it go well though? Did it at least go good?
Yeah, I had
That's what's up. How many dudes try to talk to
no comment.
you? Yo, when I was in that position and I was working in like the factories, I can remember with like new lady, but with me, it's just like everybody is all over. Like I don't want to be like one of a million dudes is trying to, and then it's like you fresh, you new. Like I know better in my mindset to like, yo, let the lady like let her get the feel of the job first, like to see if she even liked the job. You already up her butt. And she up and training, like, God, geez, quit sniffing around already. Watch from a distance, my boy. It's all about respect, too. It's all about respect. Real quick, what did you eat today? You gotta let me know what you eat.
I
Everybody
haven't
in the
eaten,
chat, what y'all eat? You haven't eaten?
not yet.
You better than me because I've been had an attitude. They probably canceled the podcast, called the sponsors, and told them to cancel the payout for today and everything. But let's get straight into it. What are we discussing today, Fanny? You want to catch up the audience with what we're gonna be discussing? Kind of give them because me myself, when I first heard about this story, I didn't even know I didn't even know who the dude was. I was unfamiliar with the business location, with the personnel, with the character. I didn't know about the story, and I'm still learning and catching up. And so I'm sure it's a lot of people like me that's not familiar with the Mr. Tendernism story. So could you kind of give us a little background and just let us know what's going on with this story?
I don't know too much about the story. Helen first put me on to the story, and basically, the gist of the story is it's a white owner of a barbecue restaurant. He also sells like soul food, but he also has somebody is an employee by the name of Mr. Tenderism who actually cooks the food. And people were under the impression that the owner of the restaurant was the spearhead behind like all the delicious food, and people were praising him or whatever, when actuality it's the black older gentleman who's actually been cooking the food, and people came from all over just to see him. Somehow jealousy occurred. A food critic, a well-known food critic, came by the name of Keith Lee, who wanted to meet him. And when he came to go meet him, he was going to give him it's some dispute whether it was $4,500 or $5,000. But nonetheless, he was prevented from giving him the money, and it just went downhill from there. It's just been a lot of controversy about the owner, and it's just been a lot. It's a lot. Cancel culture is something real, especially amongst our people. We don't play about no soul food, so a lot of people are just slamming dude and just like, they ready to cancel the restaurant. They telling people to boycott. It's just been a lot of stuff going on, but that is all as much as I know about it. But shout out to Sissy Helen for putting me on to this. She put me on to this story like a week ago, but all I've seen on my timeline was everybody talking about it. So something else must have happened. I'm not sure what happened. So the video I'm gonna show you guys. I'm not gonna show you the whole video because I don't own the rights to this video, but shout out to the content creator at hyperclub.com for bringing this story. Um, so, yeah, shout out to Sissy Helen for putting me on to this story because it's a lot. It's a lot to impact. Thank you, Bree Bree. Thank you so, so much. Um, TSM, can you tell Helen that we're live right now? Because I think she just texted me and asked me.
All right, got you.
I'll wait to share this story with you guys when he get back. But yeah, basically it's a story of a barbecue restaurant that went wrong. We don't play about no barbecue. We don't play about no soul food. But somehow, some way, it just went really, really wrong in this situation. So, um, Tim, are you ready?
Done. She should be on my way.
Okay. Sensation is now at the center of online debates and accusations, not over how good the barbecue is, but over who gets the credit, the fame, and the profit. For months, videos of an older black man known as Walter Mr. Tendernism Johnson have dominated social media feeds. In clips posted to Instagram and TikTok, Johnson stands behind the counter at Destination Smokehouse in California, tearing into brisket and ribs that fall off the bone. A style fans lovingly dubbed tendernism, just as Mr. Walter calls it. I think we playing though. See this brisket here? I tried telling y'all about tenderness. You think I'm playing? Look, look. Boy,
And his infectious personality made the videos explode online, leading many viewers to assume Walter was the owner of the restaurant. Walter's story at Destination Smokehouse didn't begin as a typical viral journey. According to early posts from the restaurant's own social media and statements from its founders, the concept of the eatery and its distinct barbecue style came from Walter himself and his decades of experience with smokehouse cooking. Originally, the establishment was operating just as a coffee shop. Walter's Connections wasn't marketing character or a hired face. It was built around his influence. When those early videos began circulating last year showing Walter handling the barbecue with care, authority, and humor, audiences fell in love. Unk became the draw. People weren't just coming for food, they were coming specifically for him. It later emerged that Destination Smokehouse is owned and operated by a younger white man, often referred online as the owner, while Walter is the face of the brand. Multiple posts clarify that Walter does not own the restaurant and that the business itself is not black owned in a legal sense. But the tone didn't truly shift until Keith Lee showed up. Recently, popular food reviewer Keith Lee visited Destination Smokehouse with the intention of blessing Walter with a $4,000 tip and $1,000 to cover the meals for other customers. But according to accounts shared online and later addressed by Walter himself, Lee was unable to give him the money because Walter was reportedly tied up, filming a podcast at the time. Staff and security allegedly stopped Lee from leaving the cash with anyone else. Update. We could not get the Unk. Security said it was over with for the day. They said that he was filming something. I believe he was filming a podcast. $5,000 in cash or $4,000 in cash that we was gonna give him a hand. That they didn't take it, so we're not only gonna take this money and feed some people, but we just gonna do what we feel like we're supposed to do in the community. What had once been feel-good viral content turned into a broader conversation about access, control, and who benefits when black talent goes viral inside of white-owned businesses. Fans started pointing out that Walter appeared less and less in front of the camera after the incident. In new videos, he has been seen filming instead of being featured. Meanwhile, the owner increasingly appeared on camera, adopting Walter's cadence, mimicking his video style, and positioning himself as the personality audiences originally came to see. Some fans say they no longer care to visit the establishment at all, citing what they view as.
What do you guys think about what you've heard so far? Exactly, Tabby.
I'm
Exactly.
agreeing
That's
with you, Tabby. That owner should be ashamed of himself, especially for somebody else's work. He's basically trying to take credit of somebody else's work. The platform that was built on somebody else's back is crazy.
I just think it's sad that that Keith Lee had traveled all the way to bless him with money, and he was prevented for giving him that money. And the story was, first they said he wasn't there, then they said he was cooking. It was some type of controversy to why he was not allowed to give him the money, and the owner felt some type of way because he felt like he should have let them know ahead of time, because his bodyguards prevented him from coming back there to give him the money. And it's been said allegedly that the owner felt some type of way because the older black gentleman, is getting more fame than the actual owner himself. And that's where the controversy lies, because further on in the story, you'll hear about how the owner sent him back, I believe, to Chicago. And people were trying to figure out, why are you sending him back? And there's been a lot of controversy with that as well. People are getting upset because they're saying that the owner didn't have any hand in preparing the food. Keith Lee, the food critic, that's popular I believe on YouTube, stated that meat that falls off the bone like that was meat that was cut or overcooked, because meat naturally does not fall off the bone like that. And it was just, it's a lot of things, when you talking about people food and you talking about senior citizens being taken advantage of, people will boycott. And that's what people are asking to boycott this restaurant. And it's so sad and it's so unfortunate that this older gentleman don't even have any stake into the company at all. He's just a regular employee. How do you feel about that? About all his hard work and people come to see him, but he does not have any stake in the company. He's just an employee. How do you feel about that?
This kind of reminds me, and I hate to say it, it kind of reminds me of slavery a little bit. It just does. You got this guy here. You know, I say 60% of the customers that go and make purchases from that specific business, black customers. 60 or 70% of the black customers are only going to that business because of Mr. Tenderness. We even discovered this whole story because of a black YouTuber that wanted to come and meet Mr. Tendernism and taste his food. And I don't even think they even allow Mr. Tendernism to meet the YouTuber. And like you said, they gave well, the YouTuber wanted to give the tip to Mr. Tendernism himself, and the owner wanted to split it amongst, and so it's like he's building something basically off his face, off his brand, and all the proceeds, or the majority of the proceeds, is going to you know the white man. And just the way that we are going to view this, that guy should have taken precautions, because it's already crazy that he's the one that put y'all on himself. And it's like we don't even see as much progression as we should see. They say that he brought Mr. Tendernism a car, and nobody never even seen Mr. Tendernism driving that car, or never seen him in that car at all. And so it's like you would think for somebody like that to build your brand, that you would see that employee elevate as well with the company, but it's like he's staying at a rapid rate. And it's like, for me, it just makes me think of slavery, where he's just working and putting all his sweat and tears into this business and company, and he's getting little in return.
I feel the same way. I feel like because the older gentleman put so much hard work in cooking the food, and because, like they said, it was originally a coffee shop, and they turned it into a soul food restaurant that was known for their ribs. And if I'm not mistaken, they were known for their ribs and their let me think, I forget what other food they were well known for, but it was like people would travel far just to go taste his food. And it's so unfortunate that this man is an elderly man and he's been taken advantage of. And I think that's why people are so upset. Um, and the fact that he's an older black man as well. And I think um, sometimes when people are not humble, or are not grateful for the people that they work with, this happens a lot. Um, and I think the owner didn't see his potential. He just saw him as a regular employee. But when people start tasting his food and start realizing that, like, hey, this is the man that's responsible for getting this business, because we're actually coming for him because he's the machine behind. And I think that caused the owner to feel some type of way. And and that just spearheaded why we're talking about it now. Would you agree with that, or do you feel have you ever experienced that before?
I have experienced something like that, but it wasn't with a different race. It was with my own race, where I put in so much work to help a certain company grow, and just did so much. And that can be for another story. And but more so for me, Fanny, is We're speaking about the elderly gentleman. We know him as who? Mr. Tendonism, correct? So why is this Caucasian guy trying to trademark the name Mr. Tendonism? We haven't even got into that yet. That's a whole like. What's your thoughts on that right there?
He actually did copyright um, the name, but it backfired. It did him no good. People are now boycotting his restaurant because they found out who was actually behind the food, the name, and that's why people are so upset because he felt like if I trademark the name, people gonna start giving me the credit, but he didn't do anything. And that's what people need to realize. You might be the owner of a business or whatever the case may be, but you got people that's working hard up under you to make sure that you're looking good, making sure your business looking good, make sure that your business is thriving. And I think because of his ego, that's why he did it in the hopes that okay, I'm the spearhead, I'm Mr. Tenderism, and people gonna start promoting me. People gonna start coming here for me. And when people found out that's what he did, it backfired. So now people are like, "Don't go eat there." Um, you have this man working so hard, and he has nothing invested in his company. He's making regular employee wages. He's basically doing all the work and has absolutely nothing to show for it. And I think that's why so many people are so outraged about it.
This is like when Suge Knight said on stage where he said, "Yo, you want to be a superstar? You don't want people dancing all in your videos. Come to death row." This reminds me just of that situation because there's a position for everybody. Not everybody's supposed to be the YouTuber. Not everybody's supposed to be the rapper. Some people position are so perfect in the background. This is going to be a perfect example of him trying to play the face card and it destroy his company. You know, one domino can make a whole bridge collapse, and that's basically what's about to happen. That's what we're going to see here. Like you said, the boycott thing. I'm seeing people already. I noticed that they had an a video up where I don't know what the circumstances up was, but the owner and Mr. Tendernism was standing together, and I guess because it's a backlash that the owner was getting, Mr. Tendernism was like, "Yo, we don't need to be," basically trying to back up the owner or whatever the case may be. And I've seen people in the comments like, "Nah, like we not even like we still not about to mess with your restaurant." Like people like, "Nah, we good." Like, and so it's like it ain't no way he can clean this up. He done did. This reminds me of a bad record deal where the company is making 90% and the artist is making 5% and the distribution is making 5%. It's like you this whole superstar and they got control over every single thing. And people were saying that they hope he didn't sign any paperwork, and I'm hoping he didn't sign anything either. Little does that guy know, the owner knows that Mr. Tenderism right now can go start his own business and it would take off just like that right now due to the story.
But the gag is he is not the first person who used that name. The name was originally from a black man, not the older gentleman who worked with him. That name was originally said by another black man. I can't remember what his name is, but I just think people need to be mindful of who they work with because at the end of the day, um, you can have you a diamond, but if your ego is so big and so huge, you won't even know it. You won't even know it. You won't even recognize it until it's gone. And I think the owner is feeling the heat, and now he's trying to save himself. And unfortunately, the story has gotten out because that's a lot of people's concern. People are saying, it's two sides to every story, and people feel like the black man deserves what he's getting. Some people feel like he's being taken advantage of. Some people feel like it's a quote unquote slavery type of thing. It's just a lot of controversy about this story, and it's just concerning to me because he is an older gentleman, and my concern is, like you said, did he sign anything? Did he have anybody with him when he signed anything? Because I would hate to see him being taken advantage of, because he is an older gentleman. He is an older gentleman, and he don't really say much. Um, and I just think it's so sad and so unfortunate that when he had the opportunity to be blessed with money, he was denied that opportunity out of selfishness and ego. And I think that's just the saddest part about the whole story, that he was even denied access for somebody else to bless him, because people traveled to come and see him. And I think
I
it's
could
just
just
so
say, I could just say that day that owner chose the right black person to not accept that, because anybody else would have been like, probably would have lost their job over the situation, because it's really out of respect. Like, if somebody's coming to, I don't care if you're the owner or not. If somebody, this is somebody else's money. If somebody else wants to personally give their money to a certain employee as a tip, then that employee is allowed to take that tip, unless y'all have rules and regulations on employees not accepting tips. But with the business that they're in, the food business, that's 80% of what people, how people make their funds and keep moving. Not the actual paycheck. The actual paycheck is to get through their living. But I've seen people make so much basically, and they really relied off the tips in the food business and the food industry. So that wasn't the case. And so it's like I say, he chose the right black person that day. I would have kept that tip.
Helen says, I don't understand why he didn't allow him to accept that tip. I just that's the question. That's the question that needs to be answered. That's a question that needs to be answered. Like, why was it an issue? Like, why did his bodyguards prevent him from going in there? And why did the owner feel like he should have called him a day before and got permission? I think that in itself is weird. I think that is so weird. Like, you come into a restaurant and bless somebody, your bodyguard standing there telling them, like, no, you can't come in here. You should have made other arrangements. Did he feel that way because they knew who he was? They knew he was a popular YouTuber as well. What was the reason behind that? That's the question that needs to be answered.
And that's crazy because it wasn't like life changing money. It wasn't money that could help the restaurant out. You know what I'm saying? The restaurant probably was making two times, three times more than that just a day, just based off selling the food. And so for him to even do that on a small tip like this, it shows me that this individual is a money hungry individual. This person is strictly tight on a penny. And so that could definitely be the motive behind it. I don't even think he wanted to even split it amongst the staff members. I personally think he wanted to keep it for himself. But like I say, it's people like this who's um, in business and who's pretty much making enough finance to keep them comfortable at living, and they still don't have enough. I mean, it's like a couple episodes of there's this guy called, I forget his name, but he be telling these stories about a bunch of these guys that end up doing these crimes and they got away with like $20 million, $30 million, but that wasn't enough for them. They wanted to go out and do it again and again and again. And so it's like sometimes enough money isn't enough money for certain individuals.
I would agree. I just feel like, and shout out to the YouTuber Keith Lee who traveled.
Shantae said Ray Williams. So the name of the YouTuber is Ray Williams. So y'all can see a lot of these videos that I was just talking about.
And shout out to Keith Lee who gave an honest opinion about their food. Um, and I just feel like it's just disturbing to me how someone's ego can be so big to where you try to really block somebody else's blessing because you feel some type of way just because you're the owner. If you're not cooking the food, my question is, what's the issue? What is the issue? Granted, that's your name on it, but what is the issue? You're not even cooking the food. So, like, what's the issue?
It's funny because I'm not even gonna tell y'all the full story, but I was working for this company, right, where we don't do evictions, we do clean out. That means cleans out after the eviction. And so everybody knew like the I'm not gonna say his name, the boss, he was just like super tight. He was like a money super tight person. And so we had this dump truck. It was three of us, somebody to drive the truck and two people to clean out the house, put it in the back of the dump truck so we could take it to the landfill. And so on this particular day, he was like, I'm in a rush, no time to look through anything. Just throw everything in the dump truck. We throwing everything away. This is what he said. And so we found this shoebox that literally had like 13 Rolexes, factory down Rolexes inside. And so we put it in the front of the truck. And so he came to see what the process was on the house. And he looked in the truck and he was like, what's this? It was like some watches. You said throw everything away, but we're gonna keep this. And he ended up taking that for himself and sold that box and got a check back for like 90 grand or something like that. And so it's just like sometimes enough ain't enough for people. And it was like, yo, we out here doing this hard work. You told us to throw every single thing away. We put this up and you take it from us just to make a profit for yourself financially. Although you making enough from what we doing. And so like I say, sometimes enough isn't enough for people.
Okay, we're gonna get on to the second part that Mr. Tenderism speaks out about the controversy that's currently taking place.
On the Keith Lee Destination Smokehouse
What did I do?
incident. One thing up right now. This my partner, Nick. He my brother. He my ex-bro, Tony. We gonna keep it that way. Hey, we don't need no hate. Look, don't hate on him. Don't hate on that we trying to take it. I can take it. It's not about that. Take that. No. Hey, look. Yeah. Hey, if y'all want to help something, send some good comments. Dig, come down to destination. It's in the southern part of California, City from Marietta. I'm talking about destination one in the nation. Then you'll understand. This young man here, I forgot. As long as I live, I ain't gonna be over him. But however, let me tell y'all something. This guy here, he got all my little. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I'm telling you from another side. I don't do no hugging no more. Okay, anyway, let me get this straight. Me and him, well, we gonna ride the house like Roy road trip. I'm out. Do y'all think tenderism is getting used? Do you think that Keith Lee should have even mentioned that he was going to give tenderism a $4,000 tip? I mean, it's a lot to get deciphered here, man. Get in the comments and let me know.
Guys, this is my first time seeing this video. Um, it didn't seem genuine to me because he was like, "Oh, it seemed a little rehearsed to me." I could be wrong, but mm, it didn't seem genuine to me. What about you?
Yeah, that whole video for me was off. Everything about that was off. We know our own people. You know what I'm saying? We know when we doing extra, when we add something on, when we taking something out. That's why we so quick to point out a liar when we see one. And that right there definitely seemed rehearsed. And it was like soon as all the backlash come out, this video come out, and I do think after watching that, I believe that man, I believe he's one of those people that just it's difficult for him to say no. He's like extremely nice. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he got too big of a heart sometimes, and I feel like he don't know that he's either there. You know what I'm saying? And I do want to know like where's his family at? Like if he got any sons or daughters, like grandkids, like where's his family at? And if any of his family sees this, nobody have heard from any of the. You agree
Very
with
true.
that?
to people who help build your success. Pay them accordingly. I agree. But I think it was I don't that the owner was expecting for him to be as popular as he became. And I don't believe that he was paying that man. I think he was getting paid the minimal amount of pay. And once that man blew up, he felt some type of way. And now he's trying to clean his act up because people coming for him and people coming for his business. But the truth of the matter is, sir, you don't cook it. You don't even cook the food. And I think it's so selfish and it's so sad that I think a lot of people need to realize to have a successful business, no matter how big or small it is, it takes a team. It takes a team to make it successful. It's just not you by itself. Your name may be on the marquee, but you can't do it by yourself. And I think a lot of people, um, the boss seems very intimidating. I agree. I agree. I love you too, Bree Bree.
Can you repeat that?
Oh, I was just reading a comment. Someone said the boss seems very intimidating.
You know what? I said that too. Mama Helen. I said that too from the time I seen where he dropped Mr. Tenderism off at the airport, and they was like walking in the door, and he looked straight at Mr. Tenderism and said, "Oh, you can't tell me you love me on camera." What? I'm like, whoa, what? Like that was another red flag. Like if he genuinely wanted to say that while he was on, this is why I think what we just watched was rehearsed. We go back, Fanny. I think you need to. I think I need to probably send it to you. But that's what the boss said to him. Like he was taking him to the airport or whatever the case may be, and so they about to get ready to walk in. He said, "Oh, you can't tell me you love me on camera." And he said it, and then he did this like jokingly awkward laugh, and it's like, yeah, he seems like he's one of those intimidated type dudes. Like if he's controlling if he has some kind of control over your paycheck, assets, or anything, if you need him in any type of way, I feel like he uses intimidation against those people. And I feel like, unfortunately, that this gentleman, Mr. Tenderism, is one of those people. And like I said, he's got a big heart. He's too kind. Anybody else would have been spoke up and said something.
They need to be paid for their due diligence because when you work as a team, you will get less. I agree. Wow, very strange, son. Yeah, that is strange. And I think it seemed forced to me because of how the owner was talking. He didn't seem very sincere um, about the embrace. It just seemed like he was more like, hey, we got to do this to clear my name up. Everything seemed to be very self serving because at the end of the day, you knew this man was working very, very hard to make your business a success. But my whole thing is, what was the investment for him? Because he is an older gentleman, and that's not to say because he's an older gentleman, he should receive anything. He should receive it because he was working very, very hard, and people were coming to see him. And I just think that somehow he felt like, hey, this is my business. Um, and he might have felt some type of way. That's the only thing I could say. He felt some type of way because nobody was coming to see him, and he wanted to get rid of that man fast. But I think people start paying attention. Like, no, we came to see him. Who are you? They didn't even know he was the even owner. That's the part that shocked me. Nobody even knew that he was the owner.
That's because his stinking ass was never in the videos. He never. That's what everybody's saying. It's like now he's all in the videos. The video viewership is declining. He was never in the videos. This is gonna be one of them instances, and I know a lot of y'all ladies are familiar with the WWE now, the Wrestling World Wrestling Federation. But what recently happened, I think 2 years ago, Triple H fired this black talent named R Truth, and I guess he thought that he was just like an extra around it. Nobody was gonna not care about, not a big name. When I say Triple H fired our truth or let him go, um, the next show that they had probably one third of the audience showed up. The internet purchases that was being brought dropped down to like 30%, and everybody was speaking out. And not only that everybody is speaking out, but the voice worked because the very next week Triple H had to come and make a public apology, and make up a reason on why he let him go, but had to reinstate him and with a higher position. So when people got a voice, that's gonna be very powerful. And now don't nobody even really rock with like Triple H anymore. So now he's getting ready to resign, and somebody else gonna be in power. And so that so might be the case with this guy here. Whole business might collapse. And I do want to add that he could have just saved the second video we just watched because that just made him look so worse. Because all we thinking is one or two things: either he paid that man to say that, or he asked him to do it as a favor. But that's definitely not out of heart. I know that man has got some kind of awareness, and he's probably watching the videos and seeing what people have to say, and he probably feel the same way we feel. But his heart is probably too big. So I don't know. It's a lot with this. Anyways, we just hit like a battery percentage of 15%. So, Fanny, you know what? We're gonna definitely end this thing a little bit early. But do you have anything you want to touch on before we close the show up?
Yes, I just want to remind you guys once again. I don't know if you did last night. I know I participated in it when I was at work. I know Helen participated, and I believe Brenda participated in the watch hour party. If you guys can do that again for the next 24 hours, it would be greatly appreciated. You can run his playlist on your laptop. I would recommend the playlist because it will just go repeatedly. It will just go repeatedly. It will be a lot easier if you go to his playlist and play his videos, his songs, his comedy skits, whatever case may be. But go do that to help the channel, help him get monetized. So thank you for everybody who participated in doing that as well.
Shout out to Unique and Black for subscribing. Much respect. I really appreciate it. Also, we had somebody else come in. Kids in the background. We had somebody else come in and subscribe too. So shout out to the two people that subscribe. Much respect and appreciation to everybody. Hopefully tomorrow we can have a full live, y'all. I'm gonna have my device charged up. But I did reach out to Fanny at the last moment because she is working now, so she was at work, and I just didn't think we was gonna get it made today. Cause not to put your business out there, but sister done work like 16 hours or something like that. So I'm like, she's gonna be tired, and she haven't eaten yet. So I didn't really want to, bring her up here, but she got dedication. I do think half of it though. She wants to come on here and say these witches don't even know I'm about to come up here looking good, like you know what I'm saying. So she wanted to show the hair. Look, she wanted to show the hair off a little bit. But I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all. Much respect. See y'all tomorrow at 5 o'clock and then 8:30 p.m. Eastern, man. Yeah, Fanny, we gotta say a prayer real quick before we get out of here. I want you to say the prayer while you looking like that.
Okay, Father God, I want to thank you once again for the sponsor who sponsored tonight's video, Millie Moon and Tampax. Thank you for that blessing. Thank you for everybody who's joined the chat. Thank you for Reverb Nation, the Cloud Watchers, the replay gang. And thank you for watching on Protector, Mr. Tenderism. Thank you, Father God, for this commentary. Thank you for TSM. Thank you for myself as well. Thank you so much for your presence. And since in Jesus' name, we give you all the thanks and all the praise. Amen. Good night, everybody.
Amen. Good night, y'all.